lack standing. DNC fraud lawsuit thrown out of court. Miami lawyers, Jared and Elizabeth Lee Beck, had their lawsuit against the DNC thrown out by a Florida court on Friday. The lawsuit alleged DNC actively concealed its bias from its donors and supporters and was in cahoots with the Clinton campaign to tip the scales in her favor, according to Law News, which is absolutely correct, but let's get down to the nitty-gritty where they don't have the standing. The judge wrote, the plaintiffs asserting each of these causes of action specifically allege that they donated to the DNC or to Bernie Sanders' campaign, but not one of them alleges that they ever read the DNC's charter or heard the statements they now claim are false before making their donations. And not one of them alleges that they took action in reliance on the DNC's charter or the statements identified in the first amended complaint, DE8. Absent such allegations, these plaintiffs lack standing. Ouch. In the lawsuit, the Bernie backers claimed they had standing to sue because they donated to the DNC thinking that the organization was neutral during the primaries. The act of donating to an organization does not of itself create a legally protected interest in the organization's operations, Judge Zlock said. Unlike the bogus scandals pushed by the press, the DNC fraud lawsuit was subject to a media blackout. DNC actively concealed its bias from its donors and supporters and was in cahoots with the Clinton campaign to tip the scales in her favor. The liberal media refuses to cover this important case. Yes, they just kept it silent, actually. They fooled their donors. Russia Today reported the lawyer who filed a class action lawsuit against the Democratic National Committee and its ex-chair, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, nearly a year ago tells RT that there has been a mainstream media blackout of the fraud case stemming from the 2016 primary. The class action lawsuit against the Democratic National Committee and former chair Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz, filed in June of 2016, alleges that the party showed bias towards Hillary Clinton over Senator Bernie Sanders during the 2016 primary. Jared Beck, the attorney leading the lawsuit against the Democratic National Committee, went on RT's Redacted Tonight to tell host Lee Camp that while the media covered every moment of the trials against O.J. Simpson, Casey Anthony, and George Zimmerman, the coverage of the DNC lawsuit has been a total blackout. Now, why is that? Why is that? Could it be that the media is in cahoots with Hillary Clinton? And so nobody read the fine print. Even if the judge wanted to side with this lawsuit against the DNC, they didn't have standing. That's basically the bottom line. They didn't read the fine print when they were donating, so they tricked their constituents. And why hasn't Bernie Sanders come out and said anything to his followers? Why? Because he's a sellout. He got paid off by Clinton. He was just a front. Clinton was supposed to win in this election through crooked means, any way necessary. That's the whole thing. And Bernie was just to get the extra people that weren't going to vote for Hillary and also get the money. And don't worry, Bernie got a big percentage out of that money for just standing there and acting as if he was going to run. He wasn't going to run. He was going to be paid off. Bernie Sanders is a crook. Whether people like to know it or not, I don't care. And socialism does not work. We've seen what happened in Venezuela. So, give it a rest, you leftist idiots. That's what I want to say to the leftists who get on my channel, the trolls, and they start spewing their garbage. Let me know what you guys